I was starting to get into a dark place. So for me, I never wanted anybody else to do life alone. I didn't want anybody else to feel like, well, life is hard and I don't like people, and you want to start cussing out people, throwing the bird to people, and like I just keep everything inside. I never wanted another, at that particular time, woman to ever walk through life alone. So I started to encourage people after I got out of my dark place.
Breaking the silence, taking the dive in. Nikki pulling strings like she playing the violin. Made in his likeness, radiant vibrance. Give them all glory, ain't no way to deny it. She gon' make you laugh, she gon' stimulate your mind. Making things shake, she ain't in no wasting time. They can come close, but can't imitate the grind. Got a different way to illustrate and innovate designs. BTS podcast, gotta watch that. Teaching us the game, that mean Nikki got class. If you watch it once, you gon' wanna stop back. This an opportunity that you cannot pass. Unleash your inner voice, cause better days coming. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days.
When we find courage to speak, we give others permission to heal. Welcome to the Breaking the Silence podcast, a podcast where I share stories that inspire, empower, and help you find your voice. I'm your host, Arthur Nikki Nicole, and each week I sit down with some incredible guests who are turning their pain into purpose and making an impact in this world. But today, I'm honored to welcome Miss Tiffany Rochelle, a Christian life coach, author, and the host of the Hear My Heart show. She's also known as the People Cheerleader. Her mission is to coach hearts to heal so purpose can run. When I tell y'all, I'm always tuned in listening. She always got something motivating to say. So I am really honored to have her on my platform. So after her countdown, please welcome this amazing woman to the platform.
Somebody else when I can be me. Why be somebody else when I can be me? Cause I'ma be me, I'ma be me, I'ma be me. You're already taken, cause I'm in the making. Cause I'ma be me, I'ma be me, I'ma be me. Yes sir, yes sir.
Hey, how you doing?
I am thankful. I am super excited to be here with you, with your inspiring self.
No, you the inspired one.
Cool out, cool out. I was giving you your moment. You're already sharing your stage with me. At least let me give you some kudos, Toots.
I'll take it. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself that I haven't already told.
Okay, well, I am the people's cheerleader. One thing I love doing is putting my hand in somebody's back, inspiring them and trying to help motivate them to become the best that they can be. God has purposed us to be who we were. There was only one us created. And so why try to be somebody else when we can authentically be who God created us to be? It's good to emulate somebody else, but it's better for you to be who you were destined to be. So that's what I kind of like do. I try to put my hand in your back and encourage you. Sometimes it's discouraging and you're seeing other people flourish, but when you finally step in your call and you finally start doing what God destined you to do, you'll end up I won't say catching up to individuals, but you start running in your own lane and it just feels good to be in your own doggone lane. So that's me in a nutshell. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I just try to motivate people just to be authentically themselves. That's me in a nutshell. Oh, I'm a grandma too. I can't forget that. I ain't a grandma. You can't call me grandma. Call me honey.
Not honey.
I am a honey. I have two grandbabies, and one of them was born on my birthday. So
Oh, special.
it's
I know that one is spoiled.
a little bit,
Mhm.
just a little bit, just a little bit.
So now you're known as the people's cheerleader.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
inspired you to, step into that role and dedicate your life to helping others heal and grow?
Well, I was a teenage mom. I was pregnant and married at 15. And so I had my first child. It was a boy at 16 years old. Then I had another kid, and then I had another kid. By the time I was 21, well, 21 and a half, I was divorced and I became a single mom. In that process, I did not enjoy. I did have family support, so I don't ever want to make it seem like I didn't have family around me, but I just didn't have that extra need that they watch the kids and that's it. But there was no one that was really there to kind of minister to my heart and making sure my heart stayed in a pure place. That I was able to come out of that bitter place that I was starting to seep in because the marriage didn't work out. I'm now, single, and it just I was starting to get into a dark place. So for me, I never wanted anybody else to do life alone. I didn't want anybody else to feel like, well, life is hard and I don't like people, and you want to start cussing out people, throwing the bird to people, and like I just keep everything inside. I never wanted another, at that particular time, woman to ever walk through life alone. So I started to encourage people after I got out of my dark place. I started encouraging women to understand that they can heal and there is life after divorce. There's life after a breakup. There's life, period, left to live after something happens, even if you lost your job, or you may have lost a child or a loved one. There is still life after loss. And so that's what I really want to do. That's how I became the people's cheerleader. I'm always cheering somebody on. And two, I was at my kids' games and I was the loudest mouth there.
Wow. Now I know why we align so well.
Okay.
I was pregnant at 15.
Okay.
I had my
Wow.
first child at 16.
Uh-huh.
I had my second child at
Oh,
20.
oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. See, I was 16, 17, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20. Yes, I did have to count. So I was like 20, almost 21 when I had my second child or my third child. So he was the baby and I was done after that.
Done I know that's
Finish.
right. Finish.
Mm-mm. Nah, no more. You would have thought I would have stopped after I had the boy and the girl. So you're like, oh, you got your set. No more. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, we had our last hurrah right before we were going to end everything, and lo and behold, I'm pregnant. God, dog.
Thank God, dog. So now your mission is to coach, hearts to heal
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
purpose so they can run.
Hmm.
So what does that look like
Hmm.
in someone's everyday life when they finally begin to live healed on purpose?
That's going to look different for each and every individual, but it's a new place that they would have to discover, because a lot of us live in that tormented place or became comfortable in that tormented place. If I've lost something, or it's breakup for me, because that's kind of where I really let my lane stay is after breakup. And two, because I was 15, I didn't have my identity. I know it's TMI, but I had just started puberty a year prior to. So I didn't really get the opportunity to understand who Tiffany was. So it was something that I had to discover. I understood who the wife was. I understood who the mother was. I understood who the preacher's wife was. I understood every title that I had outside of understanding self. So once you kind of get used to a new normal, life just look and it's uncomfortable. Like it's okay, to say I hurt. That's the unfortunate thing sometimes, especially with women in our culture. Well, like stop crying. You don't need to cry. No, let your heart speak. Sometimes your tears are speaking the words that your heart can't utter through your mouth. Sometimes you just can't talk. So it's okay to cry. And once I started becoming comfortable with crying, once I started becoming comfortable with expressing how I felt without the anger and the attitude, because that's what kind of got me in trouble. It was the attitude and the tone. And once I realized conversation it is what you say, but it's the tone and the body language. Those are three things that play a part of it. So once you really realize there's life outside of having the attitude and becoming comfortable with the new you, life feels different. Just get used to it. But it's an amazing feeling. So living on the side of healing versus living on the side of hurt. Oh, it's a fabulous feeling. It's uncomfortable because you have to filter through those feelings. But oh my God, when you do it, it's an amazing feeling, especially if you have support.
Right, right. But
Yeah.
you know what I've learned over these, and it took me all my life to know this.
Okay.
When you really know who you are,
Hmm.
you move differently. You
Absolutely.
stop comparing your story to somebody else's story because,
Hmm.
truth be told, we don't know how they got there.
Yeah, that's a
So
fact.
sometimes, God, I, I tell my mama this the other day. I was having a conversation. I said, "Mama, you know what? Everything, and I mean
Yeah.
everything, is on God's
Uh-huh.
timing.
Uh-huh. It is.
Absolutely on His timing." I'll tell you a
Absolutely. It is.
story. I was my car was down for like 8 months, and I
Oh,
finally
wow.
got it back on the road. I got it
Hmm.
fixed, but it
Okay.
wasn't quite ready to really put out there. I had to get insurance and
Hmm.
tags right and all this. And I was
Hmm.
like, Lord, I need to get out here and I need to do food deliveries and I need to make some type of
Hmm.
money.
Hmm. Hmm.
He kept making something tear up.
Wow.
Something kept tearing up. And so
Hmm.
finally,
Hmm.
on the day of everything getting fixed, every insurance tags,
Hmm.
everything,
Hmm.
the food app all of a sudden opened up
Oh, okay.
and allow me to do it. And I was like, you know what?
Uh-huh.
Everything is on God's time. He said, you didn't need to go out there right now.
Hmm.
Be patient.
Hmm.
Be
Yeah.
patient. But I say
Hmm.
this all the time that your story is not their story, and their story
It's
is
not.
not your story. And
Hmm.
just be patient with your journey because God is taking you somewhere that you
Uh-huh.
haven't seen yet.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you got to be okay with that. And
You do, and you got to get comfortable in that space because it's your journey. You
your
can't
journey.
expect somebody to give you directions on how you're supposed to live that life or how you're supposed to go because they haven't ventured in on that journey. There's certain things we've been through. You and I, we shared a similar story that we got pregnant at 15. But we still had different paths. You can't quite. We can relate to each other. It could even be a forgive me trauma bond that we may have. However, it's a difference in that. And we have to walk exactly the way that God, and the best person to talk to about that is God.
Yeah.
Talk to Him, talk to Christ, and see, hey, give me directions for my life. Which way is it that I'm supposed to go? And the catch is, we got to take heed to what it is that we hear
Right.
because we'll ask God, hey, tell me what I'm supposed to do. Remove this individual from my life. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And then when that way opens up, you don't flee from it. You want to stay comfortable in that particular space because you're comfortable in that. But
Mhm.
once you remove yourself from that, you have no idea of the peace that's going to overtake your life. And you won't have to continue to repeat that vicious cycle because you have decided to take heed to what God told you to do and you're able to be free from that. So that's a beautiful feeling. Like that, even with that app situation that you made reference to, good night. You needed to make sure everything was legal. Everything had to line up in its proper timing.
Yes.
You never know. You could have gotten to an accident. Hey, I need to see your credentials. Oh, wait a minute. What about that? You never know what could have happened.
Mhm.
So thankfully, it worked out the way it was supposed to. And I'm grateful for your patience because it
Right.
could have went another way. But thank God it didn't.
Okay. But you have to be careful what you ask God for. You really
Yeah.
do. Just like you say, God, remove this person. And then when God does it, then you're over here
Mhm.
like, well, I didn't want them to go. You
Come
said you
back.
remove them. Come, you asked them for that. Now you got to deal
Right.
with what comes with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now you got to
Mm-hmm.
be obedient.
You have to. It's better to obey than to sacrifice. I'm gonna put up that sacrifice, especially if some of them individuals that we had or have in our life, they already make us uncomfortable, but you don't want them to be uncomfortable because you're removing your presence from them. So
Mhm.
you choose to be uncomfortable, you choose to be unhappy, you choose to be bitter and angry because you want to keep somebody else in your life that's making you uncomfortable because you don't want them to be uncomfortable. Please make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Because
Please.
we hold ourselves back sometimes because we keep people in our lives that not
Hmm.
supposed to go to the next level with us. But I had to learn that the hard way. When
Hmm.
people started moving out of my way, I
Hmm.
started moving up.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
sometimes you just gotta let them go.
You
Let
have
them
to
go.
let them go. Even milk has an expiration date on it.
Talk
So
about it.
look in your refrigerator, look in your cabinet. Everything has an expiration date on there. And some people are for seasons in your life, and you have to absorb what you need to absorb from them individuals while they're in your life. They may not be for long term for the rest of your life. Appreciate them in that season. We have winter, spring, summer, and fall. There's are 4 seasons and they have their durations. They don't stick around all throughout the year. So we have to be able to change with each season. And some people are just seasonal.
That's it. Just that's it. So now
Yeah.
you specialize in forgiveness
Yeah.
and rock solid identity.
Uh-huh.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about forgiveness and how it affects the sense of self?
One of the hugest misconceptions is forgiveness and reconciliation are the same thing. They are two totally different things. So I can forgive you. You may step on my toe and you may step on my toe repeatedly. So oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. My bad. Oh, I apologize. All right. Okay, cool. I forgive you. All right. But how many times am I going to continue to allow you to step on my toe? At some point in time, reality has to step in. Yeah, you about to step on my toe again. You about to run over my toe again. You gonna do some hurt or some damage to me. So at some point in time, I'm going to have to remove you from my life. I still can forgive you. I still hold no ill. I'm not harboring anything in me or in my heart against you. However, I need to separate myself from you because you're doing some harm to me. You're hurting me. So I have to go ahead and remove myself from you. That's the catch that most people believe is if I forgive you, I have to allow you back in my space. Forgive them, but allow them. You can see them. You can still even say hi. It's okay if you see them in public. I ain't saying go call them. I'm not saying text them, send them an email, keep them friends on social media. I'm not saying that. However, if you happen to see them in public, you ain't got to go up and hug them and be all the extraness. But still, hey, I'll see people in a minute. I'll still say hi to you. I'm still cordial. That's just my heart. I'll still say hi, but I am still not allowing you back in my space because when you were in my immediate space, you weren't healthy for me. After some time, you became unhealthy for me. So, one of the biggest misconceptions is reconciliation and forgiveness go hand in hand, or you have to actually divorce those two, that thought, and you got to divorce the two of them. Forgive, but you don't always have to reconcile. Sometimes it is. And it's beneficial, especially if we're in marriages. Sometimes you do have to reconcile, but if there is a situation where it might be abusive, it might be harmful to you, reconciliation may not be the way that you have to go. But then, even with that, I ain't saying stay in an abusive relationship. Hear me and hear me good. Have clarity of thought, mind, and speech when I say I am not saying for you to stay in an abusive relationship, but only God knows, and maybe that person, that man or that female may have changed. So, but only only God knows if that person has sincerely, truly changed. If change has taken place, reconciliation may happen, but for the most part, they kind of don't. But that's between you, your therapist, the law, and God. That's what I would have to say on that one. But for the most part, you have to divorce that mindset. Reconciliation and forgiveness don't have to stay in the same place.
That's the true definition of loving them from a distance. Like you say, you see them in public, hey, how you doing? But I tell my children all the time, I don't believe in apologies.
Okay.
And one day they asked me, I was like, why? I said, because people apologize
Hmm.
and then they come back and they do the same thing they did to
Hmm.
hurt you.
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
do it again
Hmm.
and then they apologize again. I said, so I don't believe in apologies. You got to
Uh-huh.
show me that
Hmm.
you sincerely mean it.
Yeah.
I'm
They
I'm
say
a
the
person of action.
hmm the best apology is change behavior, right?
Mhm.
So when you show me that you have truly changed, and some people may not have that opportunity to see it, you may have to see it from a distance. You may not. Some people may hear about it, and then they could just be stuck in that particular world where they see the old you, and that's all they want to keep around is who you were as that old individual, that old man. They want to keep that. That's on all on them. If they don't want to see the change that has came about, oh well, as I love to say from the Lion King, Hakuna Matata. So that's all on them. But
That's
I
real.
get you. That behavior definitely matters. You can tell me you're sorry. And even in relationships, ain't that sometimes what happens? Oh, I'm sorry. And then we say it lasts about a week or two. And then
Mhm.
you go right back into that same behavior. Sometimes that happens. Yeah, you just did that to get back in space.
That's it. That's it. That's
So
it.
yeah.
So now, as the people's cheerleader, how do you refill your own cup when
Mm,
you're the only the one that usually encourages everyone else? You
uh-huh.
still got your cup. So how do
Yeah.
you refill your cup?
I tell y'all to stay out of my cup. Leave me alone. Do not disturb works wonders. Do you hear me? And that was a learned behavior. That's a boundary that I had to put in place. And even I had to accept it. I can't tell you, hey, my phone is on. I'm apostolic. And so for me, if you're an Apple user, you get the opportunity to see do not disturb is on the phone. So for me, I'm on do not disturb. You can still text me. I get the opportunity to respond when I'm available. And so I would tell you, hey, I'm not available. Do not disturb is on. I'm not available. I'll call you back later or I'll text you back. Sometimes they'll say something. If it's an emergency, depending upon who it is, I may or may not respond. However, if I've placed that boundary out there, even I have to accept that. I even have to uphold that boundary that I'm putting for this individual. For them not to cross it, I can't cross it either. So for me, taking time out for me, even in the morning, every single morning, I am up early. So for me, that's me and God's time. I don't know, don't talk to me, don't bother me. That is my chance to refuel. And then there are times that, yeah, that time lasts longer than a few hours. Like I just don't feel like being bothered. I need this moment for me. There's opportunities that I just can't be bothered. And I just have to respect that. Me read my Bible, reading a book, playing music. My husband is a wonderful producer. And so I get the opportunity to go into his studio, work on some stuff. And then there's other times that I just want to watch TV. I want to sit back and just watch TV. Nothing super dramatic, nothing over the top, because I still have to be mindful of my spirit, especially if I know I'm in a particular place. But I just want to sit back and watch some TV. That's all I really want to do. Give me a good old movie and a little, I like action or a soppy story. Give me that. I'm good.
But it took me a while to understand that and know that you have to set boundaries with people.
Mhm.
And no literally becomes a complete sentence over time period too. Especially if you that person to be like, yes, yes, yeah, I do it, I go, I do.
Mhm.
Whew.
Mhm.
It's hard to start saying no.
Mhm. But it's
So
powerful when you do.
this year has been about boundaries and
Yeah.
saying no.
Hmm.
And that's
It's
been the
so
hardest thing for
powerful.
me.
It is so powerful. It feels absolutely amazing when you say no. It feels good. It's uncomfortable, especially if you're so used to being a yes person. Even when at work, if I wanted to tell somebody, hey, this is that, and I need to do something, they know I'm the helpful individual. They know that I'm going to always say, even at church, hey, I'm the helpful individual. Yes, yes, I got that. Yes, yes, I got that. And then I wouldn't get my stuff taken care of. So now I find myself being in the office working overtime, or I'm staying late at church because I was supposed to do something and I didn't get it done because I was so willing to give everybody a yes, but I didn't say yes to me. When I said I didn't want to do it, I did it anyway.
Right.
Using that no and letting that be a complete sentence and standing in that, I
Whew.
promise you will bless your entire life. It's
The entire
uncomfortable, but do it. Feels
it
good.
like feels good, feels good. So for someone listening
Hmm.
who feels, distant from God right now,
Hmm.
say they don't believe in God no more.
Okay.
What's one small step or the first step
Hmm.
they can take to begin to rebuild that relationship without shame or pressure?
Hmm. Well, it's always great to have an individual, if you can, have somebody that's safe to talk to. There's like a no judgment zone. That's always great to have somebody that's just going to be able to be the listening ear for you. But if you can't find that individual that's here, know God always has his ears open. Understood that you may not get a direct response from him immediately, but he's still listening. And that's the catch. It's just we have to restore our faith in him. Even if we asked our parents for something, hey, mom, can I have $1? Hey, can you take me to the store? We may not get an immediate yes, but just because we didn't get that immediate yes didn't mean that you didn't get the yes. You probably still got it. You just had to wait the duration. So the catch is just wait your time frame, just wait the time out. He's not forsaken you, he hasn't left you. You might have left and you may have gone astray, but he's still going to always be ever present. He's always going to be there for you. He's always listening, but then also having a safe person that's around. Because even if you have a deaf ear towards him and whatever it is that he's speaking to you, he may not be audible. He may show you a sign. I walked into an elevator one particular time and I was waiting. I'm praying for God. I'm listening for you. I'm listening for you. God, I'm trying to hear you. I'm trying to hear you. I walked into an elevator and it was the smallest thing on there. The elevator, all no other but I mean you had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the numbers on there, but no other button was on there, but it said closed door. The minute that I said, okay, God, I hear you. I know what I'm supposed to do now. So sometimes you may not get an audible voice, but be attentive to the signs that you see. You may see a stop sign, you may see a yield sign, you may not, you may see something that says do not cross, you may see something that says go. Be attentive to what's going on. Hey, God, I need a specific figure. You might see the number on your microwave. Be attentive to the signs that you see because you may not hear him, but his answer may be coming in something that you see.
Absolutely. I did an episode called He Was Always in My Shadow. Man, I made it like I was talking about a relationship. I said the man
Okay.
in my shadow. He was always in my shadow. And I was
Mm-hmm.
telling my mom about it, and I said, Mama, you know what? No matter what I went through in my life, good or
Mm-hmm.
bad,
Mm-hmm.
he was always my shadow.
Uh-huh.
He was
Mm-hmm.
always there. And my
Mm-hmm.
mom, she took me to church as a child. And I used to tell her, like, Mom, every Sunday we got to go to church and I got to sing on the choir. I got to usher. I got to do all these things because
Mm-hmm.
you said in my house, as far as
Yeah.
me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. So everything that had church in it, I had to do it. The unions, the revivals.
Uh-huh.
So when I got older, as I got older and older, I think she appreciates this now because the
Mm-hmm.
older I get, the more I think back to everything that she's taught me, all the
Okay.
wisdom she's poured into me. And I told her, you know what, Mama? Thank
Uh,
you.
Yeah.
Thank you for introducing me to God because it was
Mm-hmm.
times I didn't have nobody
Yeah.
but God to depend
Mm-hmm.
on.
Yeah.
And you're right. He can send you a sign that's
Mm-hmm.
not going to be in your head, audible. It could be
Mm-hmm.
something you're looking at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
It's,
God is good. God is
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
always been good, even in the bad and the good times. And that's what
Uh-huh.
people I think don't understand. Even
Mm-hmm.
when things are bad,
Yeah.
still pray.
He's still good though.
Still pray.
Still pray.
I wake
Mm-hmm.
up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and somebody told me one time, I said, when you wake up like that,
Uh-huh.
pray.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
'Cause you never know what's gonna happen if you
Mm-hmm.
don't.
Mm-hmm.
He woke you up for a reason, so just pray.
Uh-huh.
So now I make a habit. If I wake up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm on my
Uh-huh.
knees praying.
Yep. It's a good time to do it. Because
Keep everybody
typically,
testing me covered.
mhm, that's a still time typically. Normally, a lot of people are sleeping, a lot of people are
Mhm.
resting. So that is a still time. That is a wonderful opportunity where there's typically no noise going on. So that's a perfect time for you to commune with your father and then take the opportunity. And I always will say, if you're daring to pray to God, take a moment for not it just to be something. God, can you? Can you? God, I need. God, I need. All right, take a moment to hear what he has to say.
Okay.
So not only are you talking to him, he wants to talk to you too. So pay attention to that. Give him that moment, not to just put all your requests out there for him, but just to hear what he has to say. I love talking to my spouse. It's not just a one way. I'm not always talking to him, he talks back, but I also give him that opportunity to say what he wants to say what he needs to say. Get that off your chest. Say it with your chest, dude. So I give him that opportunity, but that's what makes the relationship. And that's the same thing with our father. That's what makes a relationship. It's not just me saying, I have a need and I want. It's me seeing, what is it? What's your will for my life? How
Mhm.
can you guide me? I'm waiting to hear from you so that I can do what you need for me to do. And it's your will ultimately, not my way, but your will. So,
Here we go. That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Now, you and I both know that sometimes growth means, losing people along the way.
Mhm. Mhm.
How do you handle relationships that can't go with you to the
Mhm.
next level of your healing journey?
Yeah, I just let that go. That took growth though. Yeah, I'm telling you my God honest truth. It took some time for me to get there, but yeah, I'm like it. Oh well, here I go again. The Lion King says Hakuna Matata. So it's a no worry situation. Like I had to learn to get past that. But it took time for me to get there. And once I got to the place where some people are actually seasonal, some people are there for a reason, some people are there for the season. Once I really realized that, then it became easier if you're no longer in my life. Me being attentive to how our relationship is, how do we respond to one another, how do we communicate to each other, and also using discernment. Discernment definitely will help you a whole lot along the way. So if you're paying attention to the signs and knowing, like, oh, well, hey, we met for this reason, just understand you may not be around for a long time. So for me personally, yeah, it's kind of easy. I just kind of let it go. But there are times I kind of bond with individuals and I do miss individuals. There are
Mhm.
some people that are legit, genuinely cool people. They were no longer cool to stay in season with me.
Right.
But I won't lie, I have to grieve that process because you
Yes.
were a dope person. We laughed all the time together. I love my little church girlfriends because I'm the wrong person to sit next to in church, right? I'm gonna crack a joke. I promise you that. One thing is for certain, and another thing is for sure. You gonna laugh next to me. But like I miss my little buddies that I did was able to do that, and there was no judgment about that. There wasn't no, you're not saved because you're cracking jokes in church, or oh my God, she better dance. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll cheerlead even in church. You better dance. You better bless him. So that's just me. But I love people that'll just openly do whatever they need to do. But for me, I grieve the process. I legit will have that moment of grief, but I also understand you just can't go where I'm trying to go. And if I really want to go someplace, you're just not there for me. You just can't.
I don't think people understand that you do when you lose people. That is a form of grief. Is you're mourning the loss of a friendship that
Hmm.
you would never go back to. Sometimes
Yeah.
you probably never see them again,
Hmm.
and that's
Hmm.
hard.
It can be. Yeah.
It's hard.
It
So
definitely.
now,
Especially if you
imagine.
bonded with that person and you had memories with that. And
Mhm.
don't let it be somebody you grew up with.
Right.
You went through life together, and now all of a sudden you're at the pinnacle of your life and things are
Right.
really happening. And you've been with me thus far, and I really wish you could, but take that moment to grieve. Sometimes you may have to cry it out,
Yeah.
like, and you may not even have that moment. Um, that you have that closure moment with that
Right.
individual. Sometimes you just have to real life just let it go. I can't talk to you. You might talk me back into where I need to be at with you, but I know I don't need to be there anymore. So sometimes you just got to let it go and let that block button minister to them and you.
And you. Is it like the block button?
A block button be real.
Really? So imagine if
Mhm.
God handed you a mirror
Okay.
that showed your healed self
Hmm.
5 years from now.
Hmm.
What do you think she thank you for doing today?
Listening and taking heed to his directions.
Mm.
I think if I'm understanding your correction, your question right, yeah, be grateful for actually walking in your calling, doing what God said do for real, following Christ's way. Because there's a lot of times that I did not follow directions. I was hard headed.
We all were. We all were.
So, like, sincerely, like, even my now looks back at who I was then, and I'm grateful that I took the stance finally to appreciate me, to get to know me. I grew up not being able to go to the beach because my grandmother was scared of water.
Mm,
But I didn't know that at the time. She would just say, "Oh, you can't get in the water. Don't do that. Oh, you want to go to the water? Why you want to go to?" Come to find out, she was scared of water.
wow.
So I never went to the beach because that was her fear. Then I
Mm,
moved down to sunny South Florida. And
mm,
when I did that, one of my favorite, there's nothing but beaches around there. I was in West Palm Beach. So there's nothing but, and I happen to live, I'm talking about 5 minutes from the beach. So legit, I walked around the corner to it. Happened to walk around the corner one day and the breeze was there and it was just a sound and it was so pure and it was just so relaxing and it was so piercing. I was like, wow, this is nice. Like, ooh. So I happened to call my grandma while I was down there and I said, Granny, guess where I'm at? Because my grandmother is my best friend or was my best friend. So I was like, Granny, guess where I'm at? She said, where are you at? I said, the beach. She said, sure enough, you at the beach? Well, why you there? You ain't scared. The gators is gonna get you. And I'm like, Granny, ain't no gators gonna get me. And she was like, there's sharks in the water. You better not get into the water. And I'm like, Granny, no, like seriously, I'm gonna be okay. And so I sat down at the beach, I listened to the water, and I found that that was my healing place. That's where I was able to real life get in contact with me. I'm saying that to say, had I not taken the stance to happen to go try something new outside of what I grew up in, because Granny was scared of the water, I didn't learn it until after I had those conversations with her and I took the chance to go to the beach and go to the water. I was like, wow, this feels good. So that's when healing began for real, because I was in a place where was forbidden for me to go, but that's where healing actually began for me. So it's being comfortable stepping into the unknown. Once I did that, that now me was able to say, I'm thankful that you decided to break those barriers. I'm thankful that you were hard-headed and you decided to try the beach even though you were told don't do it. The gators is gonna get you, the sharks is gonna get you. Even though you were told that, you decided to take a chance on you. And when I took that chance on me, like life became greater. So for me, my now thanks that hard-headed girl that she took a chance. I think that same thing would happen later on because I find that healed me now, but I feel that healing is continual. I don't feel like you ever have the ED where it's ended. It's
right.
always continual. Like I believe in the I am the Lord that healeth thee is something that's continual. So
Yes.
for me, I'm always going to be able to look back and appreciate the hard-headed girl, the girl that stood firm in her beliefs and that respected her own boundaries, that got her to the place where she needed to be later on in life.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
But you know what? The water is really peaceful to just sit. I said one day I'm gonna go do that one day. I've never really sat by myself
Hmm.
at the beach and just
Uh-huh.
relaxed. Never
Yeah.
tried it,
Uh-huh.
but
Oh, it's
it's
wonderful.
peaceful.
It's peaceful. And for me, I grew up with everybody that was around me. The baby of three children from my mother. There was nothing but boys in my neighborhood. I had kids when I was 18. My brother had four boys and I was their babysitter. And then I started having kids, had my own. So I was always around individuals. My kids grew up and I'm always around individuals. It was not until I had the opportunity to go down to sunny South Florida and my kids were starting to grow up. Now they don't need mommy as much. They still need me to take them to the mall and still need me to do certain things, but they didn't need me as much. Then I started to learn it feels good to be by myself. This isn't bad. I actually got the chance to be that creepy person that could eat by myself. And I say creepy because sometimes you look at people and be like, how are you by yourself? Oh, that's weird. I
Yeah.
finally got to be that person. And I'm like, this is not weird at all. Like, why are you talking to me? Can you just give me my food and leave me alone? I won't say it that rude, but
Wow.
But it's just wonderful once you get the opportunity to be by yourself, you appreciate yourself. I never got the opportunity to appreciate self because I always had to do for others.
Hmm.
So when I started doing unto others that I needed done unto me, man, that's when freedom rang for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever ate by myself either.
Yeah.
I'm
Be
the
the
one
creepy
looking like, how do
person.
you do that?
For me,
So
I always thought they were creepy. Be
we
the creepy person. It's amazing feeling. It really is. It
well,
really.
we're down to the last question, my least favorite part of the show.
Okay.
What part of your story
Mhm.
still brings you to tears, but also reminds you of how far you've come?
Oh, I think my story that probably brings me to tears will probably be that girl that learned to respect herself when she was disrespected at a younger age. That brings me to tears is that girl that finally got to understand, reverence, and respect her worth that she never understood. Others may not have understood it either, and there are a few that did see my worth, but I couldn't see what they saw for my life. That really moves me is because I really get the opportunity to really appreciate her, and I'm grateful for her so that I can respect her and I can actually adjust that crown. And I feel like I'm worthy to have a crown. I didn't always feel like I was that royal child. Understood that I'm a royal child. God's my father, and I'm that one. I'm royal priesthood. But now I feel worthy that I actually am it. That I can appreciate her. That I know her. That I love her and respect her. That is I took a chance on her. She's that girl. She's that one.
One of
Yeah.
the one, one of
Yeah.
one,
One of one.
one of one.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
now I'm gonna pass. It's time for me to pass the mic to you. So I'm
Okay.
gonna do the countdown. After the countdown, you're gonna be
Okay.
up here by yourself. This is your time to give any advice you want to give to the younger generation or to anybody to empower them. You
Okay.
know, tell them how to find your book. She's an author too, y'all.
Okay.
All the good stuff about you and how to follow your journey after the
Oh,
countdown. Okay.
got it.
All right. What's up, everybody? First, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting Breaking the Silence. Because without you, none of this would be possible. None of it. See, Breaking the Silence started off with my voice, me coming out of my shell, me finding me, and doing something I should have done a long time ago. But then as time went by, I was like, you know what? There's some amazing people out here doing amazing things that I want to shine the light on. So that's why you are here. So thank you so much for being a part of Breaking the Silence and continuing to break the silence for me. But now I gotta ask you to do me a favor, real quick. Can you share this episode with somebody that resonates with, and make sure you do two more things: subscribe and turn your notifications on so you don't miss another episode. So let's get back into this episode.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. I am Tiffany Rochelle, also known as the People's Cheerleader. I am your coach that is going to encourage you to authentically be yourself. My motto is why be somebody else when you can authentically be you. God created you and you are as my sis would like to say, one of one. So show up and shine as you being authentically you. I am an author, I am a podcast host, and I also have some coursework. I am a heart coach. So show up on my page. All my handles, I am on social media. All my handles are going to be the People's Cheerleader. So that's pretty easy for you to remember. Come to my website, and that is going to be tiffanyrochelle.me. because I'm always encouraging you to show up as your authentic self. So that's why the website is tiffanyrochelle.me. I have some coursework that's on there. I also have my books that are on there. I have journals that's on there. And if you come over there to my social media channels, I'm always going to say something to you that's going to keep you encouraged, keep you inspired. But most of all, it's going to encourage you to authentically be you. So that's it from me. Grace and peace.
She said, "That's it for me." Well, thank you so much for coming and supporting me.
Mhm.
We are locked in for life. I tell everybody to come across. If there's anything you need me to do on my end,
Gotcha.
just let me know. And I
I
got
just want the people to make sure they comment on there too, because you told them to like, you told them to
oh,
share, and you told them to subscribe. But they also got to comment because those comments is helping your algorithm. So we
you
need
gonna make
that
me
too.
change my video, y'all. I'm gonna have to go change my video now. Cause you're right. I did forget that part.
Well, that matters. Them comments definitely matters. That helps us in this social media world. So
You're right. You're absolutely right. So now I gotta change my video because you said so.
sorry, oops. I'm just wanting us to be better because we have so much information that we share. Like, hey, it needs to get out there. So you're dope.
You're
You're
right.
dope.
But thank you so much again for coming to be a guest. I enjoy your motivation every day. I'll be looking for you now. I'll be looking. Did she post?
Girl, stop.
I'll be looking. So I'm like, she be saying some real stuff now. You be saying things I be thinking sometimes, but I be too scared to say it. But I'm gonna start
Oh,
saying it now. So yeah,
well,
I be looking.
if you get scared, put it in my DM. I'll say it for you. Uh-oh.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna hold you to that.
I'm serious. I got you. I'm breaking the silence, okay?
Okay, break that silence. But once again, thank you. And we're locked in for life. Like I said, if there's
Yes,
anything I can do for you on my end, I'm here for it.
you got it. I appreciate you. You're
You
so
welcome.
kind. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. And thank you to everybody else that's out here tuning in to this amazing. Didn't I tell you she was amazing? Did I not tell you that? Y'all got to make sure y'all check her out because she will keep you on your toes. She will keep you motivated. She will say things that you're thinking about, but you just didn't say it. So don't take my word for it. Go follow her journey on Facebook and everywhere. She's TikTok, Instagram. She's everywhere. The people's cheerleader. Follow her everywhere. But thank you again for tuning into another episode of Breaking the Silence. I hope today's conversation reminded you that your voice still matters. Your voice always mattered. Your story can inspire others. So start sharing it with people because you never know who you're helping out here. Don't forget to subscribe, like, oh, and as the people cheerleader says, comment on this episode and share it with someone who needs to hear it. So keep speaking your truth, embracing your journey, and breaking the silence because guess what? The world needs who? You and your story. So let's continue to break the silence. So until next time, later.
Better days, slowly but surely it's a better space that'll waste my mind, so I meditate till I levitate. I elevate when I learn not to hesitate no more. Keep moving forward, chase my goals and focus more towards it. Hate the lows, but I need those to flourish. Place my goals in front, that's what's important. So I ask myself what inspires me. Breaking out of my shell, feeling yo shot quiet me, and now I'm breaking the silence like I'm Nick in the cold. Let's go. Promise you gon' see better days. Gotta keep going till you see them. Promise you gon' see better days. You gotta keep going till you see them.